When it comes to Will Smith as a topic, I feel like many of us are all on the same page. A young star in his early days, beloved by the music and film industry, alongside an extremely successful acting career that felt like it was never going to end. Honestly, between the mid-90s and 2008, it seemed like you couldn't even watch a major motion picture without Will Smith starring in it. Independence Day, Men in Black, Enemy of the State, I, Robot, Hitch, I Am Legend, and the list goes on and on. And these are movies that it seemed like everybody had on DVD, whether you went to your friend's house, your grandma's house, your aunt's house. Everybody bought these movies even after they came out on VHS or DVD. From what I could understand, everybody was sold on Will Smith. The producers, the screenwriters, the fans, everyone. Honestly, Will Smith's public image was squeaky clean. Willow was starting her music career, if you'd call it that. His son, Jaden Smith, was starring in major blockbusters alongside him, such as The Pursuit of Happiness. Everything seemed great. I mean, Will Smith was on top of the world. Fast forward approximately 10 years later. 2020 was the year for Will Smith that the facade started becoming transparent. So I'll tell it like this. I guess their son, Jaden, had a friend who was also a singer in the industry, August Alsina. In 2020, Jada Pinkett made it public knowledge over a podcast that she had an affair deceiving her husband, Will Smith. And Jada Pinkett, it seemed like she just couldn't stop talking about it. She loved talking about the affair. I mean, really loved it. Hell, she even went as far as to pretty much call Will Smith a little girl right to his face. Plus, I guess the guy really did have liver disease, and he was dealing with actual health problems. And Jada Pinkett was kind of just exploiting the whole thing, both Will and August, in a way. Guy's just a straight up hooligan, right? Will Smith also made some really weird comment about how he gave the whole situation his blessing. So I don't know, the guy's a real weirdo. I mean, these people are sick. So now you got Will's wife getting jiggy with some other guy, all right? And Will's over here saying, I'm sorry, how can I make things better? Oh, brother, just give it up. Instead of him and his wife having issues and dealing with it behind the scenes, they chose to address it in public. And when you address it in public, you're gonna get the public's opinion. I mean, he was straight out here defending his wife's actions, borderline condoning them. By that point, I believe the majority opinion of the public was, this man's a coward. And quite frankly, I felt terribly sorry for Will Smith. The best thing he could have done was distance himself from his wife, say that she has a treasure trove of issues, and that you're working them out, and that she shouldn't even be out there spewing her nonsense to the public. That's what he should have done. But instead, as we all know, fast forward another 2 years to the 2022 Oscars, and Chris Rock got the slap of a lifetime. And make no mistake, Chris Rock got that slap on behalf of Jada Pinkett, alright? He said, keep my wife's name out your mouth. Man, Will, a lot of us wish you would have had that attitude when your wife had things in her mouth that she shouldn't have. And okay, alright, I get it. It's all a bunch of Hollywood nonsense. Bringing in the new year, now, there's a new story surfacing about Will Smith. There has been rumors for quite a few years that Will Smith is also potentially a homosexual. Okay, y'all do you. Do what you want. I don't care. That's fine. Brian King Joseph, a professional violinist who actually placed third on America's Got Talent Season 13, was hired by Will Smith as a solo violinist for his upcoming tour. In 2025, Will Smith went on his Based on a True Story tour. Their relationship grew even closer after Will Smith offered him a chance to play on several tracks of his upcoming album, which was trash. Joseph agreed, of course, so he and Smith began spending additional time alone, and Smith ended up telling him, and I quote, "You and I have such a special connection. that I don't have with anyone else. And he'd say other fruity, goofy little things like that. Joseph joined the first leg of the tour in March of 2025, so that was very recent. The tour started in Las Vegas, so Joseph was flown out there, and then he was provided a hotel room booked by Smith and his team. Keep in mind, no other individuals besides the crew and hotel staff are supposed to have access to his personal room. Joseph alleges he placed his room key in his bag, and he left his bag in the van responsible for transporting the cast and crew around. After they had rehearsed at a local venue, the management team allegedly spent hours retrieving the bag. And when Joey returned to his hotel room later that evening, he alleges to have discovered evidence suggesting that some other person had been unlawfully inside of his hotel room, in which case Joseph summoned hotel security. There was also a handwritten note addressed to the plaintiff, aka Joseph, which read, "Brian, I'll be back no later than 5:30, comma, just us." He drew a heart after that. And then it says Stone F, which I don't know exactly what that means. Plus, there were some new items added to this little mix. You had some wipes, a beer bottle, a red backpack, and a bottle of HIV medication? Good Lord. Apparently, the medication bottle had some other individual's name on it. There was also an earring and hospital discharge paperwork belonging to a person unbeknownst to the plaintiff. Fearing this unknown individual would return to his room and commit sexual acts on him, he immediately notified hotel security. Joseph kindly requested a room change, and he called the local non-emergency police line to report the incident. Few days later, Will Smith's team started going back and forth with Joseph, saying he made the whole thing up and that he was a psychopath. Which to me, the whole thing already doesn't make sense. You got a refined individual who plays violin that was hired by Will Smith. Why would he mess it all up just for some silly situation like this, unless it were true? Plus, we know Will Smith's history at this point. He slapped the shit out of Chris Rock, and also appears to the public eye to be some sort of sexual deviant, along with his wife and his dress-wearing son. The dress makes sense now. Recently, yet again, Jada Pinkett Smith was just sued for $3 million by a former associate. His name was Bilal Salam. He claimed Jada Pinkett approached him with physical threats of violence and demanded he sign a non-disclosure agreement while at a private gathering at a movie theater in Calabasas for Will Smith's birthday in September of 2021. And this is all allegedly, of course, but from where I'm standing, my goodness, this does not look good for Will Smith or his wife. And Jaden hasn't looked good for a while, so don't even get me started with that.